Hello, and welcome to That Recording Podcast, the podcast of conversations inspired by all things analog recording. I am your host, Joe Montague, also known as, are you that Beatles drums guy off Instagram? All you need is drums. Yes, that is me. And each episode, I'll speak with a different guest from all avenues of the recording world. You can expect discussions on everything from the mentality and philosophy of recording right down to the nerdy gear talk and everything in between. With guests ranging from industry legends to current music producers, engineers, musicians, and gear manufacturers. If you're like me and share my enthusiasm for hearing their stories and learning from their experiences, then this is the podcast for you. Don't forget to hit subscribe on your podcast player so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoy this, please leave a rating and a review wherever you're listening. Obviously, 5 stars, please. And it really helps to grow the love for analog recording and helps me attract a variety of different guests. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show! Hello and welcome to another episode of That Recording Podcast. I hope you've all had a wonderful week. Okay, I'm really excited for you to hear today's episode, and there's a little bit of background information that you need before we dive in. So last season, if you want to call the last 100 odd episodes a season, I spoke to a songwriter by the name of Ron Ryan, and Ron was a songwriter from the 60s, and since that episode we kind of became friends, I guess, and Ron sent me a lot of songs that he'd made in the 60s and throughout the years since, and some of them were made kind of using cheap keyboards and things, and they didn't sound like 60s recordings, but the songs were there. So I thought it would be a cool sort of homage to Ron, seeing as these songs hadn't all been heard before, to re-record them in a traditionally sort of a 60s style, so like almost pastiche. So I put a band together and we got in my studio and we made a record called The Hootenanny Plays the Songs of Ron Ryan, which is it's on Spotify and it's out on Think Like a Key, the record label. So if you can search for it and buy the record if you want to, or you can go listen to it on Spotify. Anyway, I think it sounds really cool. But anyway, during the process of making that record, I got chatting to a guy by the name of Alan Saint, who is a fellow 60s music nut, and he sent me some acetate recordings that his dad had played drums on that featured Ron Ryan and their band The Walkers in the 60s, and they were made at Regent Sound. And turns out that one of the songs that Alan sent me was actually one of the songs that Ron had sent me, and it's a version that I hadn't heard before. And Alan and his dad Roy had thought that this was the only version of that song that was in existence, but Ron had sent me another version. It's all quite a convoluted story. And anyway, the version that I had remade, turns out it was very similar to the version that they'd recorded. So anyway, I got these acetates sort of tarted up a little bit by Ben at Rare Tone Mastering. God, it's a big family this, isn't it? And they are now as bonus tracks. They're now available as bonus tracks on the record that we put out, which I just thought was a really nice sort of full circle moment for this record. And following chatting with Alan, I was really keen to speak to his dad Roy. I just thought it'd be so special to get some insight into what the scene was like in the 60s, kind of touring around the air bases and the clubs and going to the Flamingo Lounge and Waldorf Street, and just like what the vibe was. And I just want to soak up all the information that I possibly can from that era, and obviously recording at Regent Sound and just everything that was going on around that time. So that's what this episode is. It's a real sort of deep dive into it's not all about recording. Obviously there's a bit about the Regent Sound experience and all that kind of stuff, and some of it's about fashion, some of it's about US air bases, some of it's about the way that the band was put together and Ron's involvement in songwriting and everything to do with being a bandsman in the 60s. And I just loved it. It's such a privilege to get to speak to these guys. So yeah, I really do hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you don't mind me taking a small liberty on it not being purely about recording this one, but it was a conversation that I felt that I had to have. So yes, as I always say, if I enjoy it, then I hope you enjoy it too. That Recording Podcast is sponsored by Make Noise Pro Audio, the trusted source for new and used pro audio equipment. They also do repairs, so they are a veritable trifecta of audio accomplishment. Did you like that sentence? I was quite proud of that when I wrote that. A bit of, alliteration. There we go. Anyway, they have an incredible Instagram feed, and one of the things that I really love doing is every week they do a drop of the gear that they have had come in during the week. And I love scrolling through the stories, and there's usually 20 or 30 pieces that go up. And this is a bit weird, but I always play guess the price because it's always really reasonable. And I must say that I am biased. I've been buying things from Make Noise for years. They're just such a great company. Obviously, I'm very grateful to them to be supporting this podcast, but I wouldn't be doing this if I just didn't think that they were brilliant. So do go and check them out at Make Noise Pro Audio on Instagram or makenoiseproaudio.co.uk on the interwebs. And on with the show! People are starting to know about Ron's involvement in all this stuff now, and he's such a lovely chap, and he's so well-meaning, and you just can't help but love him, and you want, you can see, I really want him to, the same as you, want him to get his sort of just desserts. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I found him so modest because when he came into the Walkers, he was just helping us out, and his brother Mick was already in the band, and they didn't let on initially that they were brothers. And when Mick, I think I said in the email, Mick wasn't sure whether he was going to stay long term. And then Ron and Nick both decided they must have had a chat. And they came in full time, which was amazing. Because Mick was a really good guitarist. And Ron really gave the band a lift. So professional. So what was it? Was it called the Walkers at the time that Mick joined?
Yes, we just had a name change. We were playing in an East End pub. When I joined them, they were led by a guy called Kenny Starr, and the band, was called the Starlets. And we had to wear these dark jackets. It was so warm. And we discovered, Alan and Mike were already in the band. And we discovered that our singer was getting paid more than we were. So we had a bit of an argument. He sort of left, or we sort of fired him, one out of the two. And I think Mick at the time had just started depping with us. And we were looking round for a name. And we were going round the names of the bottles behind the bar. And of course, there was a Johnny Walker's. That's where the name came from.
It's a great name.
It was okay, wasn't it?
Well, it's just so simple. It's one of those ones where you think, I can't believe nobody else thought of it first.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, you had the Walker Brothers, which people started to confuse us with. No, we're not the Walker Brothers. Although we did get mistaken on a motorway services for the Pretty Things.
Oh, really?
Well, because Mike had quite long hair, blonde, always wore his shades, and he got rewarded with a double portion of beans.
Amazing.
Oh, that's great.
So what sort of gigs were you doing around then? Was it sort of RAF bases? And
Initially, it was just mainly pubs in the East End. Then we branched out. American Air Force Base. We got to play, I think, somewhere in St Albans, a gig. I think Ron was getting all these gigs. And we did a gig up in Birmingham. But then we also got onto the Irish dance halls, where we were mostly a support act, but they were so well paid. You went and did 45 minutes or an hour spot in some of these quite nice dance halls over North London and, South London as well. And I think that's where Ron got his... he became aware of the Blue Aces,
that's right,
who we supported on one occasion, and I ended up seeing Ron when he was in the Blue Aces playing at the Lyceum in London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you would share in the bill with 2 or 3 other bands on those sorts of dates?
On the Irish halls, yes.
Yeah. So everybody sort of, it must have been quite a nice scene to be part of, that seeing the same faces all the time and getting to know everybody.
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, great times.
So I'm sort of, you sent me this email with some fantastic information. I just was hoping I could ask you some of the questions about that came up in that email, and be nice to hear them from you directly.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really interested in. You talked about a residency you had at Adam and Eve in Homerton.
Oh yes.
And how sort of initially hearing Ron's version of Because.
Yes.
Could you talk about how that sort of came about?
Of course. Excuse me. We used to rehearse in there on a Thursday evening, and then we did Friday and Saturday in the Adam and Eve. And Ron would bring these songs along, and on one occasion he brought along Because, and he got Alan to transpose it, because I think Ron wrote on guitar, but Mike Smith recorded, he sang in a different key. Mm-hmm. So at this rehearsal, Alan transposed it for Ron to suggest to Mike Smith. So we got to hear it first. Yeah. And it's only years later we realised the significance of that.
Well, yeah. Because I think Ron said, he told me he only writes in the key of C major.
Yeah. So that
does make sense that he would come along and need it to be transposed. Yes.
So that's the story behind that, absolutely.
And
plus the fact that when we were playing in the Adam and Eve, we used to do another Ron song called Keep On Stomping.
Yes.
That I think Ron suggested the idea to Dave Clark Five, who came up with bits and pieces.
Yes. I remember Ron talking about this with me, to do with the sort of literally just like start stamping your feet and things on the floor to get the rhythm going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I imagine it went down a treat.
Oh, yes. Yes, you get the pub crowd along doing it as well, yes.
Something I'm also quite interested in is is you heading down to Wardour Street to the Flamingo after the sessions at the Adam and Eve.
Oh, yes. Well, Friday night, I think the pubs they were still closing at 10:30 or 11 in the London area. And because we were going to be playing there the following evening, we'd just leave the gear at the pub, and I should just throw a cloth over my gear, which, God, I wouldn't risk now. And we'd all dive into Ron's van up to Wardour Street, and we never knew who was going to be on, but the likes of Georgie Fame and Zoot Money and Gino Washington. That's some great nights, yeah. Stagger out of there in the early hours of the morning. And
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I guess it was full of other musicians who were doing the same circuit that you guys were playing, and
probably. Although I don't recall meeting anybody.
Yeah. Do you remember?
We were just there for the music.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember what kit were you playing at the time? Do you remember?
Yes, I was playing a pearl sort of mahogany finish. I think it's the same kit that, no, not pearl, Premier.
Yeah.
A Premier kit that I think Keith Moon and Kenny Jones had the same kits in the early days.
All right.
It was quite a popular kit at the time.
So like quite a dark wood finish.
Yes.
Because I think they're all made of mahogany, those kits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they are.
They were heavy.
Well, I've got an old Beverley, so Beverley is the village in sort of East Yorkshire, and they used to make the drums for Premier. So it's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even though mine's branded a Beverley, it's exactly the same as it's probably... My one was from 1964, so it's likely to be the same sort of... Exactly the same kind of kit that you had, really.
Yes.
And I'm pretty
More
sure they're
than-
mahogany. I might be wrong.
Yes. I think, didn't they also make Olympic? Was
That's
that
right. Yeah.
Premier? Yeah, that was my first sort of serious kit.
So,
I've got that in one of the photos.
oh, cool.
Yeah. I think that's in the one where we're wearing our cloaks. I think that's the Olympic kit.
I don't know if I've seen that picture. Did I don't know if Alan sent it over or not.
Oh, I'll try and get it to you.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Oh, this was taken at like backstage at talent show,
Oh yeah.
talent contest. I think we were beaten into second place by a little girl singing, and yeah, and at that time, Ron had decided that we needed a gimmick, and we were Count Drac and the vampires or something similar for a short while.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the cloaks that Ron and Nick's mum made.
Oh,
They were
amazing.
very good. Yeah, fantastic.
I think you mentioned in the email that he changed the lyrics to money, that's what I want, to blood, that's what I want.
Oh yes, give me blood. Yes, and prowling up and down the stage. Yeah, he was a great showman. He really was.
I mean, there's a picture of Ron that I've put on the front cover of the record, and you can tell he's just got that glint in his eye. He loves it.
Oh yeah.
Wonder if we could talk about there's 3 recording sessions that you mentioned.
Yes.
If we go through them, so the very, maybe I've misread it, but the first 2 were at Regent Sound, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one is where the tracks that are on the record have come from.
That's right.
So then there's three Ron originals that were written by Ron Ryan, and then the other 3 were covers.
Yes.
What do you remember from that first session?
I remember that the tracks that we recorded, we were playing on a regular basis, so we didn't need to do a lot to them. And Ron knew the sound engineer in Regent Sound. And I think Ron gave him a drink to let us in there after hours.
Amazing.
So I didn't have to take my gear. I used the kit that was in the studio. And we went in, and although Alan and I used to do a bit of backing vocals, we weren't mic'd up as such, but you can just about hear us in the where we bled into the other mics.
Yeah, you definitely
And
can, yeah.
we ran through each number once just to get the balance. Then we recorded everything live in one take. And I am so proud of those tracks.
Oh, I mean,
I think they're really
amazing.
good.
There's such an energy about them, and you can tell that. I mean, it just sounds like young musicians having a really great time. There's so much energy coming off them.
I mean, as a drummer, you can probably hear one of them where it starts out by quite fast and gradually accelerates.
I've got the same problem.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but that was fun.
Do you remember what the mic setup was like? Did you? I'm assuming you only had one or two mics on the kit.
Well, they would have probably been already set up.
Yes.
They didn't have to mic the kit up because it was, say, the studio kit. But as for everything else, no.
Okay.
So the only vocals you can hear of mine are coming from the kit mics.
Yeah.
And Alan probably from Ron's mic.
So then you guys were all just together in the live room, almost as if it was a rehearsal or, just like you're doing a performance, essentially.
I'm sorry?
So you were just sort of together in the live room recording at the same time, almost like it was a rehearsal.
Yeah.
And did you get...
we knew the numbers well enough. Yeah.
Did you get to listen to the playback at the time, or did you have to wait to hear the results?
No, I think we had to wait. And I've got the only copies.
Oh, so they're
they
the only ones that exist.
Yeah, I mean, my family had them put on CD for me for my 60th birthday a while back. But yeah, the only originals I've got, and the reason I've got them is that we were sort of taking turns to hawk them around agencies.
Ah.
And it became my turn, and I think I'd sent them off to, I think, general artists who were quite big at the time, and I had an amazing letter come back. They were really interested in the original tracks, and unfortunately that letter's gone somewhere, I don't know. But then after a while, again, because they were the only ones, we heard nothing from the agency. They didn't follow up. And then later, I read in the music press that the guy who'd written that letter had moved on to another company or record label. So I was expecting either the agency to follow up or the record company to follow up, but they didn't. So I contacted one or the other and asked, could we have them back, please? So they just sent them back with a compliment slip, returned as requested.
All right.
And I've had them ever since. Yeah,
Amazing.
Very disappointed.
Well, it seems like it's a reasonably common story even now that you get so close and something so trivial as somebody leaving can, be the start of something or the end of something.
I mean, but there were so many bands about at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Virtually every pub in the East End, I mean, that's where I was from, had a band at least one night a week. I mean, in another band I joined after the Walkers, I was doing 8 gigs a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, with the Sunday lunchtime session, yeah.
Were a lot of bands playing original music, or was it mostly covers at that time?
I would say mostly covers. I think we were one of the few that were doing original stuff. Certainly in London, I mean, couldn't speak for Liverpool. We just weren't aware of what was going on in Liverpool at the time because we thought, London is where everything goes on,
Yeah.
How wrong were we?
Well, Ron was talking to me about the he called it the Tottenham sound, as opposed to like the Mersey sound. So there, there's a proper. It sounds like there's a proper scene happening there, and everyone playing music with that kind of the feel that the Dave Clark 5 had, and the recordings that you got, that are on this record have got. It's definitely a different sound to the Mersey sound.
Yes.
So
the thing I think with Liverpool, because they were a port, and they were getting a lot of American imports, so they were privy to stuff that we weren't even aware of.
So what were you listening to around that time?
I was listening to the likes of Chuck Berry. Alan got me into Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin, Bo Diddley, but then we were fans of the Kinks. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So then the second session that you mentioned you said it was run by Larry Page.
Yes.
And that was also at Regent Sound.
That was at Regent Sound. Yeah. The only track that sticks out was a Bo Diddley type number that Ron wrote called "Move Over Rover" (brackets the big dog's coming in). And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the session started on a Friday, and I'd thrown a sickie off of a new job that I'd started, and they wanted to carry over the session until the Monday, and I thought that I was pushing my luck to take another day off.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm aware, this is what I was told, that Bobby Graham came in and did the drum part. Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Because I suppose with Bobby Graham, Dave Clark 5,
Yeah, I mean, Bobby's a big deal, yeah.
Yeah. But I never heard any of the recordings from that session.
What was it for? What was the reason for it happening?
I think I don't know if Larry Page had a record label, or it might have been like a publishing deal for Ron. You know, we were just excited to be recorded, to be honest. Although, to be perfectly honest, in later years, I found recording a drag.
Oh, really?
You know, well, I've recorded with other bands as well, and especially when it's just, we're going to, I'm going off taste here a bit.
Oh, no, go for it.
Where they decide it's a small room, we're going to do bass and drums. Okay, so you've got this, the singer somewhere else, so you've got a track to follow. Okay, come and have a listen to this. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Okay, get the drums out because there's no room. Record the rest. Then listen to the finished article and you think, oh, God, I wish I could have done that again. It was the hours, you know, you're there. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to That Recording Podcast today. I'll be back next week with more conversation all about analog recording. And for now, don't forget to hit subscribe and please do share the podcast with friends or anyone else you think is as nerdy about recording as we are. If you'd like to follow me on socials, you can find the podcast on Insta at That Recording Podcast. For my adventures in Ringo nerdery and all things Beatles drums, it's at All You Need Is Drums. And if you're just curious about my work and recording and maybe the odd picture of me having a beer or hanging out with my wife and kids, it's at Joe Montague Drums. And in other exciting news, I have a TikTok. I don't really know what TikTok does or is, but my wife says I need to have it and it's cool, and I should tell you about it. So there we are, follow me on TikTok. Don't be a stranger and see you next week. Goodbye!